Not to be divisive, but this message really only applies to those really struggling with life. If your family has owned a home and wealth and is for at least a generation back to your grandma or even your parents, like if you came up with luxury and you're fine and you don't really have to ever worry about anything, this doesn't really apply to you too much, but in some ways it does because everybody struggles. We're all the same. Nobody's above anybody else, but just saying, this really only applies to my kin like that. We're told that going to school and showing up every day, working hard, and everything you need to move forward is just, pulling up the old bootstraps. But that was the first lie. If you are a directionless person with no guidance, no really intelligent parents, or no skills or anything, no matter what skills you gained in school, if you gained any skills, because school is a joke, you really have very few options in life. You go to school, you pick a career when you're too young and naive to really know anything about the world or even yourself. So how are you going to pick a career for you to do for your whole life? Then you're forced to bet on that decision you really weren't ready to make it in the first place. And I'm not going to lie, most people are forced to make that decision with no guidance, no real look into who they are, their nature, and what they do. It's just like, yeah, you're a kid and you don't know shit and we're not going to let you really do anything. But hey, let's have you choose what you do for the rest of your future and bet $30,000 to $200,000 on it. Anyway, what really is school in the first place? Like, what's a mentor? What are we really meant to learn as people? Because whose idea was it? Who made the decision that history and science supersedes all the actual systems that make up the world? Like, why are jobs and electives being erased? Why is the electronics classes are gone? Wood shop, the trade school. There used to be all sorts of trades that you can do entry level within high schools. I can never imagine having that in my school. There are no mentors. There's nothing. We've been completely abandoned by the people ahead of us. And unless your path is to be a doctor or an engineer, an accountant or a lawyer, or something that you really need college for because it's an institution that's gatekept by that, you become one of the zombie people trying to find success outside of the system. And that only really helps a few people who are willing to either do some sales or have some luck in another situation. There's definitely paths out there. I'm not saying that there isn't paths out here. This isn't the woe is me, you're poor and you can never move ahead. This is the youth never being given any guidance in order to do that. I listen to people talking back in the day, and the main thing that they have that everybody I know is missing, there's some teacher, there's some uncle, there's somebody with the truck, somebody anywhere who gave enough of a fuck about them to teach them something and give them a skill. And that's not really a thing that happens anymore. Our existence right now is crazy meaningless, and nobody's really interested in fixing it. This is what life is right now. The person who works hard every day at a meaningless, soul-sucking job, soon to be replaced by AI, while spending every other waking minute trying to find a way to increase your quality of living or using drugs to ignore the fact that you aren't doing anything in life, feels fucking useless. Your life has amounted to something so unfulfilling that has no creation or reliance or just need to be had in society. Depending on the job that you have, you literally may not have the time or the mental faculties to attempt to do anything once you get out of work. And this is obviously by design. They don't care. They want slave people who spend money, consumers. From the top to the bottom, we have been socially, culturally, and structurally abandoned by the generations that came before us. At the highest level of government, they use our lives and our futures as currency to make petty gains in a system that doesn't work for anybody. They're 80 years old and they do not care. Conflicts and debt are rampant, and suffering is so common that it's seen as silly and futile to even speak about. The silly little cattle that we are, giving up everything that we used to be. Why were the trades taken out of the schools? Why is career day gone? Why is there no options presented to young people at any point other than, but we can make them spend $30,000 to $200,000 on choosing some random degree that apparently more than half of us don't use. This system is beyond evil. This is not an institution to uphold or elevate the collective consciousness, nor having a haven for learning. It's become an elitist political swamp made to distract from the slavery that we're all subjecting ourselves to for the last few generations. Slowly but surely, the things that have made life worth living were stripped away. The stores and the holidays have no life. The sports have become meaningless gambling hubs instead of gatherings of community or support, fair and exceptional gameplay. There's just this black muck hidden in the folds of every company. Like, all of our society has become this giant bulbous blob that we call society. No wonder violence is climbing. With life being this meaningless, what other hope do people have but to use whatever tools they have at their disposal to climb the ladder? Whether that be gambling, whether that be crime, whether that be prostitution, niggas on OnlyFans giving their bodies up, drug dealing. I know normal people, like the normalest people that would never drug deal, but it just makes basic sense. People are selling their bodies, the pornographers. Everything that you can think of is being done, and the degradation of our society has come because the elite have sucked the creation and the productivity out. The factories are gone. The things that you can create are gone. The schooling is gone. Why can't I find a painting class? Why isn't there 50 people creating art classes, even hobbies for couples to go out and do? All of that is being sucked out so that we can be product slaves. And then they will replace us with people from outside of our country and completely degrade whatever culture they used to be there. We're being turned into puppets. We have 70, 80, and 90-year-olds selling our future for petty little gains, and they only have so long to exist. Medicine can only do so much. Why would you cling to life? They cling to the world and the things that are fading, so much so that they let what's going to remain, what's past them, what they sacrificed for, to completely dissipate. How could they? So for now, the conflict has returned and the young are pitted against the old. Forced to wait in agony, waiting for them to die. I'm hearing YouTubers and everybody talking about, yeah, we need to wait for the old people to die, but they're living to 130. We got congressmen in their 90s and 100s and 70s and 80s and shit, completely refusing to give up power and bring up another generation. George Washington's whole point: let me step down so that the generation before can know what to do, so that when we are gone, America is still here. Where the fuck is that? Like, I'm really about to get heated, bro. Like, how? That's like the most basic idea of civilization, that you live your life the best way you can so that you can impart that, so that civilization can continue. But no, they're stuck here. They want to live as long as they physically can, and whatever comes next, let it explode. Such narcissism. So instead of waiting for them to die, instead of being the same evil scumbags that they've been, let's choose love. Our generation, the new creators, for the community built on generations of hurt, pain, inadequacy. It's time to be different. Due to the way that we've acted for the last 150 bajillion years, the image of the black community has dropped drastically for no reason whatsoever. My entire life, I've really hated the culture. I'm not gonna lie. We got violence, ignorance, bullshit. If you carry a book around and you're smart, or you speak a certain way, or you got parents you've seen as corny, you're attacked, you're slammed, you're ostracized just for being a little different. Every time you allow yourself to be like that, it makes the culture stronger. Every time you allow yourself to be unreasonable because it's accepted that black people are like that, you've done a little thing. Because obviously everybody's not out here shooting each other and perpetuating the thing, but it's the little things. Even myself, like, there's certain things where it's like a normal person would let it go, but no, because I'm black, I feel like I can get indignant about the situation and talk them down, and it's worked in the past, so I've done it before. We cannot be allowing ourselves to do that. Every time you allow yourself to be like that, you're perpetuating the system. And it was maybe okay for a little bit to like let it happen every now and then, because there is injustice there in the history. I'm not ignoring that, and I'm not saying that. I'm not like self-hating or anything like that. All I'm saying is, we're at a position where we're so volatile, where we kill, not we, but like people will go out and harm people, and then our community will undergird them and then like defend them and act like, and completely erase like any sort of understanding. Someone's child was lost, and instead of focusing on that, instead of seeing the forgiveness that you received the second day, we're just attacking a family and celebrating a death of a child. Regardless of the racism, regardless of the history, a child is dead and another child's life is gone, and I only seen celebration and hate. I don't see anyone who's sad and anyone who's grieving these futures that were lost. That isn't love. That is the disgusting culture that we've inherited from those that come before, and it's time to let that go. The complete unwillingness to weed out the rot in our community is the biggest difference between us and other communities, including the Hispanic and the Asian communities. Like, there's this injustice that happens. We need to like say fuck that shit. We can't just ignore the corruption on our side and allow the other side to be the only arbiters and then call them racist for it, because then we're just going to become like actually unfit to mingle with society, which is starting to be what's going on. I don't care what city you're living in. I went from the third biggest city in the world to a random ass suburb, not even a suburb, to one of the shitty little cities in the middle of Indiana or southern Indiana. I'm damn near in Kentucky. Like, when you think about these things, it's the culture. It's what we've been trained. It's what's ingrained. Like, you can say that it's the racism. You can say all that shit, but which injustice loaded your gun and shot a dude over a couple carts at a movie theater, you know? Which slave owner made you abandon your kids? Which racist made you attack the man who you decided to raise a kid with? Which which pastor from the past, which slave owner made you attack your family completely and destroy the entire thing, made you run away? That's not something that we can keep just picking up. That makes us no different than them. They think they can claim a victim status and use that to oppress other people and kill other people. We can't be like that. Nobody is innocent. We all make little choices every day that contribute to how we are seen, and it's time to make a change. And more now than ever, in these times which are so negative and negativity is pushed to the forefront, I've never seen more examples of exceptional and intelligent African Americans in my life. People who are just like me, who have felt this way as long as I have, but due to the violence in our own communities and censorships by the bad acting elites, they have been left in silence. They have been forced to act like it's okay, and it's seen as acceptance of the culture, but it isn't. And now they're speaking up and they're stepping out and they're talking about what's going on in our community and what's the problem is. Now is the time to show that variety. Now is the time to show the change that we have, to embrace what we have become, to ignore what's seen as corny, to accept yourself regardless of whatever the culture says is terrible. Those who can read, those who can understand, those who can build up the community, see those who, were people calling Malcolm X corny? Was he carrying around books the size of Bibles? No, I don't think so. I think that man rose up. It's crazy how the less adversity we face, the more we started just finding adversity between each other and then the entire world. It's a self-defeat. It's the true self-hatred is what perpetuates this culture and keeps it going. That doesn't allow your own people to have variety in the way that they present themselves into the world. That doesn't allow your own people to have some freedom, comfortability, and to be accepted within their own community. Why do we have a rule like this isn't even really part of the culture? But why won't nobody teach anybody spades? I knew spades. I've been taught spades 3 times. And just because I forgot spades because it's been like 5 years since I seen y'all niggas does not mean that I am just completely banned from learning spades. Like, why do we even have exclusion built into like our little games at the family? I've never seen a motherfucker in a white family say, yeah, we're not finna teach nigga to play like, anyway, that's not the point. That was just me. That might have been a little, let's ignore that. To accept yourself regardless of whatever this disgusting tar-like culture has asked of us. This isn't the nature we have to keep. Create and embrace others with love. All of you remember the slaves? Who did they get taken in by? Wasn't it a bunch of Canadians and Hispanics? We have not been abandoned forever. There's been love. There's been people that gave a fuck about us. Let's look at that. The niggas that's going to touch your hair, stop calling them racist. Stop calling them culture vultures or whatever. They're trying to understand you. Your hair is completely different from theirs, and they want to understand you more, and they want to understand how to act properly around you. For generations, well, for decades, we fought them racist for that, for trying to understand us. We need to ditch that. All of us have been abandoned by those that come before, whether you're white, black, or orange. We're all in a shit position. Lead with love moving forward. No matter what people around you say, you know in your infinite core, the part of you that is in with everybody, the God within all of us, the divine, you know that we're all the same. You know what you should do that is right. Regardless of what others say, believe in that love. Trust the intelligence of the universe and create a new future. Who cares what came before? Who cares what they can say? Creators will be what changed the world, and we must become those creators. The light that was within Shakespeare and all the great philosophers, the singers, the actors, everybody who's built up civilization, that light is not gone. Rise up and show that light within yourself. Rise up and see that we are just as divine as those that came before. Let's show them the next greatest generation. They weren't the greatest generation because of anything special. The niggas went to war. Let's show them a truly great generation, another great generation, not competing with them, but simply creating for the sake of creation and loving for the sake of loving. True unity, bred through brotherhood for your fellow man. Fuck the tribalism. Well, there's many tribalism because like humans are humans, but like, don't take it too seriously. It's all a game. Focus on yourself. Focus on your brother. Your brother is everybody. Everyone is your kin. That is this channel. That is this video. True unity, true creativity, true power comes from love, creation, and understanding of your fellow man, coming together as a community. The collective, that is who you are. The divine, the vast, that thou art. Beautiful. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I really just had to get this out. I wrote up a script for this one and I kind of went on it, kind of didn't. I'm not really the type to like try and preach towards people, but this has been in my heart forever. I've made similar videos about this, but I feel like this is like the best I could do to lead with love as well, because I've had so much hatred in the past. I've had so much anger, and we don't need that. Kanye wrote the song All the Love. We don't have to worry. We don't got to hold on to all that shit. We can move forward. Y'all have a good night.